Sup, ladies and gentlemen, Aquilon here, and welcome back to each and every one of you. And of course, if you're new here, thank you so much for joining us. My name is Aquilon, and today I'm taking you on a journey filled with spoilers. So if you don't want spoilers, if you want to experience Dragonflight as it's meant to be for the first time when it launches, this is definitely not the video for you. It has to do with the Dracthyr starting area. We know the story now. Players have been able to play through it, those who have alpha access. There's a lot of speculation that's going to happen here. So I'm going to try and do as little spoil as possible for the whole story and only focus on the parts that I think is interesting. But I don't know how possible that's going to be, because in order to get to the parts that's interesting, I kind of have to explain how we get there, right? So I do apologize. Click off if you don't want any of that. But before you do, though, if you want to be one of the cool people on the screen right now, remember to hit the link in the description down below. Become a patron, join us over on Twitch, or become a YouTube channel member. Any and all support is always very much appreciated. And now I have a question before we get into it. Are you going to play Dracthyr? Let me know in the comment section down below. And also, while you're down there, hit the like button. It's free. It helps out the channel. Ladies and gentlemen, let's jump into it. Small technicality here. You start at level 58 in the Forbidden Reach as a Dracthyr. You awake and you're not entirely sure how long you've been asleep for. You'll very quickly realize that however long it was a very long time. The Forbidden Reach is sort of divided into different creches. Kind of on the nose, but anyways, right? And you specifically awaken within the War Creche. Now, you're going to make your way throughout a number of creches as well as training grounds. And it's very interesting how the Forbidden Reach is set up. Remember, this entire zone used to be Deathwing's playground, or Neltharion at the time. This is where he experimented and ultimately built the Drakthyr. There's various different training grounds. So you have the Wyrn training grounds. You eventually have spiritual places, support creches, and all the rest of it. And all of these creches are connected to different training grounds. So it's very clear that Deathwing was up to something. He was definitely busy with something. The exact nature of it, that is the speculation for today. Anyways, you awaken, you very quickly make your way out to one of the Wyrn training grounds, and this is where you realize, whoa, the place is overgrown, it's completely overrun. What is going on? Well, it's not overrun, it's just overgrown. And you realize, okay, we've been asleep for a long time. You then make your way to the support creche, and as well as other creches all over the Forbidden Reach. And in one of these creches, you are going to find a noxious gas. It's very interesting. I love the way that, at least from what I can tell, the way Blizzard set this story up, you're going to find a toxic gas because the entire creche have been infested by bugs, and one of their side products is this noxious toxic gas. So you're going to go all over the local fauna to find an antidote, something that makes you immune to this toxin. Once you do, you're going to discover more Dracthyr. And one of the very interesting things, at one point, as you're going through this, you actually discover soldiers of Malygos. That's right. You learn that it was Malygos that imprisoned and kept you asleep. Well, actually, I should clarify. You don't learn that it's Malygos that kept you asleep. In one of the creches, you learn that it was Malygos that kept those asleep. So you kind of have to extrapolate from there and say, okay, why would Malygos keep a specific creche asleep? It's more likely that Malygos slept all of the Dracthyr. This is where the first bit of mystery comes in. We know that the Dragon Isles itself was kept asleep, right? The whole island went to sleep. The Dracthyr, however, with Malygos now being the one that put them to sleep, suggests that they were put asleep before the Dragon Isles were even taken offline. For what purpose, for what reason, we will discover. However, as you continue, you eventually run into Ebonhorn as well as Wrathion, and together you fight the Primalist. Now, there's a couple of really interesting things that sort of are revealed about the Primalists. Remember, the Primalists serve Galakrond. This we've been told, so this is not really spoiler. Denuser even spoke about this. The Primalists believe that they are the ultimate followers of Galakrond, and they work tirelessly to either try and bring him back or to manifest a version of him or manifest his power in some way, shape, or form. But the Primalists are not weak. In fact, you lose to the Primalists. In the final battle of the Forbidden Reach, you try and stop the Primalists from overrunning the main hub in the Forbidden Reach, and very quickly the Primalists overcome the defenses of the temple, and then also overcome you, and you're forced to escape, as the Primalists have the ability to summon massive storms and just knock things out and just completely take over. So you do lose against the Primalists. Like I said, I'm trying to keep this, and I realize it sounds weird, I'm trying to keep this as light on the spoiler side as humanly possible, but I sort of have to lay out just some of the spoilers so that we can get to the actual speculation bit of this. I'm gonna try and stop there. We might have to spoil a few things later down the road, but I want to talk and shift my focus to Neltharion now, Deathwing. At the time, Neltharion was not yet Deathwing. Neltharion would have been freshly created at this point. Well, freshly created for dragons, that is, for immortals. He wouldn't have been around all that long. He would still be the Earth Warder. So the first question I have is why? Why make the Dracthyr? Now, we have speculated about the dragon aspects quite a bit on this channel, actually, and one of the more popular theories is that the dragon aspects are not what they seem. First and foremost, their entire creation is a myth, or at least marred in myth. There's two possible versions of how the Dragonflights were created, and the one we know is bullshit because, well, we've basically been told that this was what the Watchers told them to tell others so that, you know, basically the one that says that they are from Galakrond, yeah, the Watchers told them to tell everyone that so that they wouldn't actually know how they were created. The other one is that the Titans blessed the dragon aspect. There are problems with that theory as well, and we've covered that in videos in the past. Literally within the last month, actually, we made a video discussing that. So there's problems with their very creation. We then have problems with the Titans. Even if we accept that, okay, the Titans made them, I have problems with the Titans. The Titans are also not necessarily trustworthy. It would appear to me, at least from a speculation standpoint, that the Titans are keeping Azeroth asleep, using, perhaps abusing her. So if the Titans did indeed bless the Dragonflights, it would suggest that the Dragonflights are part of this conspiracy. They're part of the system that keeps Azeroth asleep. Now, going off of that, and I realize this is speculation on speculation, and a lot of people don't like that, but going off of that, this is what makes it interesting. What if Neltharion's creation of the Dracthyr was a direct response to the dragon aspects and the threat that they pose? Firstly, Neltharion is considered to be the Earth Warder. In fact, it is this connection that he had to Azeroth that led to his downfall, because the old gods had such an easy route to get to him. But this would mean that Azeroth had an easy route to him as well. The day that he became the Earth Warder, his connection to Azeroth would immediately kick in. The Dracthyr are also created with every power source from every single one of the aspects. They're all present within the Dracthyr. Now, for one, it could just be an experiment, and Deathwing was just trying to see how much he could do. Neltharion, Deathwing, you guys get the idea. The other option is that they were meant to be a weapon. Now, the threads of sort of distrust is being sown quite heavily in the early days of the Dragon Isles and the Dragonflight. We have a conversation that is now seemingly removed from the game, but it was in the game between Turalyon and Master Shaw, where Turalyon expresses distrust in Elixstraza, saying that she appears to be a friend, but, you know, with the dragons, you never know. Turalyon instructs Matthias Shaw to find the mages to develop a tool that would allow them to see through the visages of the aspects and of the dragons. So clearly there is a lot of distrust within the Alliance. We also see where Wrathion ventures into Stormwind. He is greeted by Matthias Shaw, and Shaw tells him, "You've been warned not to make unannounced visits." And then telling him, "We are keeping an eye on all of you, you and your Drakthyr brothers," because that's ultimately what happens. By the end, the Horde Dracthyr will accompany Ebonhorn to the Horde, and the Alliance Dracthyr will accompany Wrathion to the Alliance, and the guards have all sorts of witty, distrustful things to say about the Dracthyr. It's going to be interesting. I'm really looking forward to actually playing this story, because it does seem like it could be a cool story. But to my mind, they could very easily be a weapon. The fact that they are built from the bits and pieces from each one of the Dragonflights, the fact that they have power from each of the dragon aspects, and then on top of that, the fact that Malygos, and this would have also been before Malygos went fucking nuts, the fact that Malygos imprisoned the Drakthyr suggests that the Neltharion was up to something. The dragon aspects did not feel good about the fact that Neltharion was up to whatever he was up to, but we also have blue dragonflights. The blue dragonflight helps us in the Forbidden Reach. So clearly, whatever was up doesn't seem to be up anymore, or it might be that the threat has subsided. It might even be that they're now willing to see the Drakthyr come to fruition, mainly because Neltharion is already dead, and you learn of his death once you awaken, meaning you weren't connected to Deathwing in any way, shape, or form. So again, how is this creation catalyst working? What exactly led to your creation, and then how exactly will your connection to Wrathion? Because this is actually the bigger part for me of this speculation. The fact that Wrathion is personally involved, but also Wrathion expresses that in this campaign that they were called to the Forbidden Reach by a world-ending threat. Him and Ebonhorn were called to the Forbidden Reach. How and why? Could Wrathion see the opportunity to create an immortal army for himself? An eternal army of loyal soldiers that will follow him into battle? Remember, the Black Dragonflight have been decimated, but the Drakthyr is, in some way at least, part Black Dragon. So is it possible that this is the opportunity that Wrathion sees to, at least in the interim, have a flight that he can rely on that can help him fight? I don't know. I'm genuinely not entirely sure on that. We're going to have to hope for a little bit more. This is the conversation between Wrathion and Shaw, just to give you guys an idea of the level of distrust here. "Soldiers of Stormwind, allow me to..." "Wrathion," Shaw says, "you were warned against making unannounced visits, especially when you bring company. 1,000 pardons, my dear Spymaster. But I come bearing the tidings of the dragon aspect for Lord Commander Turalyon. As for the Drakthyr, you have my word they will cause no harm. They have come seeking refuge, not conflict. Their conduct will be on your head, Wrathion. The Drakthyr have my leave to roam the city, but know this, SI7 will be watching." And Wrathion, just in a final little... mortals. Constantly, there's these little bits and pieces of a potential us versus them moment being set up. This is more sort of tongue-in-cheek. We know that Wrathion have made abuses of us in the past, and he does sort of view the mortals as below him, a little beneath him, but still, it's interesting. I love this story. I love the way this story is being told. And there's something kind of big that I wanted to share with you all. I'm going to do a coverage video on this literally after this one, but I wanted to share this with you as well. For those of you that love this story as much as I do, Morgan Day in a brand new interview said that players should not be surprised if there's a lot of hidden storylines within Dragonflight that we will not be tasting. This gave me a lot of hope. I love the fact that Blizzard is sort of going, all right, we can spoil the intro storylines and we can sort of spoil the introduction to the Dragon Isles, but the conclusions, the major story arcs, those we're going to keep untasted to see how that plays out. Hopefully they start doing this more, because I would actually prefer not to have seen the starting quests for the Dracthyr at all until it was ready to be released. But, you know, at the end of the day, I know this was a very weird bit of coverage because I'm trying to be as cognizant of spoilers as humanly possible. Please let me know in the comment section down below how you think I did. Did I fail? Did I do well? I don't know. But let me know. Please remember to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. And if you want to be one of the cool people on the screen right now, simply hit the like button. Actually, the like button would do nothing in this instance. No, you have to become a patron. And then you have to become a YouTube member or a Twitch sub. Any one of those will get your name on the screen. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves. Be kind to each other. Be good to each other. And I will see all of you in the next one. Peace.